Hey guys, I'm Amy, and in this video I'm going to be talking about why I left Australia to travel the world to wherever I felt my heart wanted, and how I did this and how I'm doing what I enjoy by teaching yoga and music online, and some of my experiences over the past almost year of solo travel. Okay, so firstly, why I decided to leave Australia was because a year before I left, in March last year, I was in South America, which is where I currently am. I'm in Brazil. I was in Ecuador, and I had an amazing experience there. I was on a permaculture farm and just out in the jungle, living a very free lifestyle. But I still had my life back in Australia, had everything set up, so I had to come back home. And when I did, I wished that I hadn't had that. But I'm glad that I did, because it gave me the opportunity to prepare for what I've decided to do now, which is just work online, but doing the things that I enjoy. So I originally started teaching English online, which I enjoy, but it's not my passion. And somehow I found a job teaching music, teaching guitar and singing online. So I took it, and I also moved my current job, so my personal training and yoga teaching, which was in person in Australia, I moved that online. And yeah, I didn't know if it would work out, but it has worked out. It has been working out, and I've been able to do this, and I'm really grateful for that experience. I've been able to continue music and had so many amazing experiences since. And why I specifically left Australia, even though Australia is a great country, I had a great life there. It wasn't that I was escaping, that I was hating my life or anything like this. It was more just that I had been there for most of my life, and I had lived all the dreams that I wanted to there, and I felt like I was in a place where I was very comfortable, and I wasn't like so excited every day to do things. So what traveling does is get you out of your comfort zone. This was out of my comfort zone. I had to sell everything, or most things, almost everything, and leave and trust the process and just bring what I needed. I had to bring my musical instruments with me because I teach music, so I brought a piano and a guitar with me. I also play the drums, so that's something I can't take with me, but it's something that I can find where I go. And before I left, that brought some feeling of, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to play, but I've been able to play wherever I've been majority of the time. I even was in Bali and I bought my own drum kit, and then I ended up selling it when I left. So whatever you want to do, there's a way. Wherever you go, you can find what you need. Some places it may be harder than others. Always do your research. Learn from other people who have done and been to the places. But generally, if the country is not in war, doesn't have anything too serious, even if it's a little bit dangerous, like I'm in Brazil now, and this was a risk. I came here completely alone, not knowing anybody, just because I really felt drawn to this place because I love music, and I specifically like this type of music that they have here, and it's something that I don't know that much about, and I really felt like I had to fully be there to experience that and to meet other musicians and just to see what comes of that. Also, there's amazing nature. So as you can see, I'm right now in Tuduca National Park. I've been here multiple times because this place is massive and I love it, and there's so many things to explore, and it's just really peaceful, and there's a lot of nature in all of Brazil. But even like I'm in Rio de Janeiro now, and it's a city, and there's a lot of nature here. Okay, so let's get into like a bit more about my purpose. So my purpose isn't one thing, but it's really just to explore the depth of myself and of the world around me, and to experience life to the fullest. To teach music and yoga, and to help other people who are on a similar path on their journey, to expand their knowledge about music, to gain confidence with music, and yoga to improve their health, their body, their mind, their connection with spirit. This is my purpose overall. I do multiple things. I'm not a one person. I don't play just one instrument. Like, I play multiple instruments. I haven't mastered anything. I also I haven't mastered that as well. But I feel like everybody is unique and everyone is on an individual journey. And I realize that your individual journey is the most valuable thing. And so just follow your path and go it on your own if that's what feels right for you. It perhaps isn't right for everybody, but this is something that I felt that I wanted and needed to do. And I'm so glad that I did, because yeah, I learned so much so far. So after I left Australia, I went to Vietnam. There was a retreat there, a raw vegan retreat that I went to, and I had never been to a retreat before. I was quite hesitant to go into that. That was an amazing experience. I met so many wonderful friends, family. I will call them family because they'll be my friends for life. And it was just the best retreat experience, like just very relaxed, like healthy raw vegan food, waterfall adventures, just connection with other people on a true level, and just getting along in harmony. It was really nice, and just to feel like part of a family or a community. So I'm glad I did that. And then after that, I stayed in Vietnam for a while, exploring different areas there. And after that, I went to Bali because an artist that I like, Sam Garrett, was playing there, so I thought I would go there just for a week was my plan. The week ended up being 2 months, and then I went back to Vietnam, and then I came back to Bali for another 6 months. So I lived in Bali. Like, I found a place there. It's quite easy to do. Many people are doing it, and the reason that I stayed there was because there's such a big community of like-minded people, people that are doing this, like digital nomads, entrepreneurs, people that are creating art, musicians, and people that are living authentically. And really, that's what this is about as well, is living authentically. When you're traveling solo, you just be who you are all the time, because you're not showing up as somebody who is a certain way, because you're just living freely in the moment. You can do this without traveling, but I find that traveling is just the funnest thing that you can do, and the best way that you can learn, grow, meet people, be okay with being by yourself, learn about different cultures, different languages, learn how to manage money better and to find new ways of making money, to have the money mindset, and just so many things. And to also just overcome fear of anything. Fear of being judged, fear of going to a place that may be unsafe. So this place, I thought there was a risk, it may be unsafe. It has a reputation for that. I'm not denying that. When I came here, I was very excited, but I was also very scared the first night that I was here, because of so many stories I had heard about phones getting stolen, about getting robbed, kidnapped, the favelas. It's not safe. It's not like what I'm used to back in Australia. And even in Bali is very safe and very cheap, very easy. So if you haven't traveled before, I recommend you go to a place such as Bali to start with. I have been to South America before, so I do know what it's like, but I hadn't been to this country, and this country has a reputation for being worse than other countries. Like, I'm from Peru as well as Australia, like half, so I have family there, I have citizenship there. I'm well aware of life over here. It's not the same as in Australia. Things move differently, they move slower. Sometimes, often you can't trust strangers, and most places are gated because they need to be that way. But what I love about South America and just other parts of the world that are very different is, one, just having contrast is great to see things differently, but also it gives me more appreciation for life and humbles me to see the bigger picture of everything. Because actually 9 years ago I was in Chile as an exchange student. I was living there for 6 months, and at this time it was the best time of my life. Not because of the place, actually. Like, Chile is okay. It's not my favorite place in the world in terms of the country. There are certain parts that I like, but the city of Santiago is where I was living. Like, I didn't prefer it. But this time of my life was one of the best, because it was the first time I was living overseas by myself. It's the first time I went overseas at all by myself. And it was the first time in South America as well. And I was studying in a university in a different language, which was quite a challenge. I didn't speak Spanish very well, but I made it. I passed everything. And yeah, I had this experience of, it's getting very like sun on my head, so I'm just noticing this. Had the experience of it being very like euphoric at the beginning, like everything was amazing, and then 3 months into it I felt depressed. I'm telling you this in a nutshell because there's quite a lot to the story. Okay, so we're back. There was a pause there because the video stopped itself. So after I felt this feeling of depression, right, I went internal. I went fully internal. I became self-aware of everything so much that I was not interested in like my personal life so much. I was interested in what this feeling was that I didn't understand. So I went deep into myself, and I just went out in nature. I still continued to hang out with friends, but before that I had a different life. So I would drink. I liked to go out clubbing a lot. I liked to eat meat a lot. Nothing wrong with these things. I'm just saying that this was the life that I had, and that this life no longer felt right for me anymore. It was literally just like that. It wasn't a decision that I was like thinking about and that I made. It was something that I never thought I would really do, or even thought of doing before, like going vegan or stop drinking or anything. I didn't see anything wrong with what I was doing. I didn't see the effect it had on my life, basically. But I just, after this experience, I just had no interest in these things, and I even tried to continue to drink. And like there was one time I ate meat just when I decided that I would leave it, and I didn't want it. And then I thought maybe it's going to be hard to go fully vegan, because I went fully vegan. I didn't kind of bridge it. I was just like, okay, I'm going to move out of home and going to be vegan. And I'm just going to like research vegan recipes and new foods that I hadn't had before. And yeah, it was actually easy, and I didn't miss any of the foods that I had before. This video is not about that, but I just thought I'd give you the backstory about how my life changed. And I went internal because I had a full-on spiritual awakening, where something came and tapped me on the shoulder, and it was like they woke me up and reminded me that I'm not this physical body, and that I'm so much more than that, and that I'm connected to everything. So this was my first experience of that at that time, which was 9 years ago. So I just feel that there's some relevance here, that I'm coming back here 9 years later, and since that time I've had many awakenings, many transformations, many almost pretty much different lives. Like I felt like I've had different lives during the past 9 years in so many ways, which I won't get into here. But this is why I feel a strong connection to this place. I don't believe it's anything about the place specifically. I think it was just something that needed to happen in a point of my life, and this opportunity opened me up because it was the first time that I saw life in a new way in a different country, like where I was living there. I wasn't just traveling there. I was living there, and I was seeing like things happen to me, like my wallet got stolen out of my bag. That never happened to me before. I had a bike accident, just a very minor thing, and it was because someone like walked in front of me. Something that never happened to me before. I like quickly got through all these things, like emotionally, physically. I was fine. But they woke me up, and I was seeing the world as a different place. I was like feeling disconnected because I was far away from my family and people that spoke English and friends, anyone that I felt really close to. I had many friends from the exchange, but they were just people that I'd met, so it's not the same, right? So I was feeling all these things, and I was writing songs about it. I didn't end up sharing these songs that I wrote about it, but I've written many other songs that I've shared, that I've written in the past 9 years. I've shared them. But yeah, I was feeling this like void of like, why is the world like this? I felt so bad that people had to live in these conditions, like poverty, extreme poverty, where they're stealing, where there's robberies, where these things are normal and people have to live like this. So at the time, it really hit me hard. So the first day I arrived in Brazil, I really felt scared. Again, it was something in my mind that was making me scared. It was like things around me as well, because I was in fear at the time, and when you're in fear, you attract things. So it's a good note, because the more self-aware you become, the more you work on yourself, the less fear you have, the less things that you will draw into your life that are supposedly negative. Like, everything is not negative or positive, because everything is a lesson that you attract for a reason, a purpose in your life. So it's not bad, but it's probably not what you prefer happening. Things getting stolen, or just feeling unsafe, feeling like you have to really be on guard. You do have to be on guard here, but I was talking about like in my house. I was feeling like scared. I felt like someone was going to break in to my house, because there was someone like speaking in Portuguese that I didn't understand, like kind of rattling with the gate, trying to get in. And I was like, oh, this place really isn't safe. I should probably get out of here. But then after that one day, I talked to the Airbnb host, which is the only person I knew at the time. She spoke a little bit of English. She said, like, calm down, it's okay. And then I was like, okay, it's okay. I think I can walk around during the day by myself. So I became familiar with my environment just slowly at my own pace. And I realized that, like, it's fine. As long as you are on guard, but you don't have to be, like, super walking around. As long as you're self-aware, you don't do anything silly, you're going to be fine. You won't even get your phone stolen. Like, these things happen to people that are generally not paying attention or have other things happening in their life that they're not taking responsibility for. If you take 100% responsibility for your life, it's not like nothing's going to happen to you, but there's a less likely percentage that things will happen to you because you're self-aware, you're taking responsibility. You know that literally everything that happens in your life, you have something to do with. So that's pretty deep. It's not just like, oh, you said something to somebody that had something to do, you had something to do with that. That's quite obvious, but it's much deeper. It's like everything you attract in your life, how you feel when you walk outside, and what you project onto the things that you see. That is a reflection of how you're feeling internally. So that could be another video, but more about my experiences traveling so far. So coming back to Bali. Bali is a wonderful place. I highly recommend you go there and you fully embrace it. I did. not just because there was people in the community, but because there was many musicians there you can just go and jam with. There's many places you can go and play live. And before that, in Australia, I've played a few gigs. I've played many places, just open mics as well. I felt fairly comfortable, but I still had some fear. I still wasn't fully expressing myself. Bali really helped with that. It really gave me a place where I could share my music that I wrote, rather than just cover music, because mostly in Australia I'd be playing mostly covers. I'd play my music, but I really didn't feel like it would resonate with the crowd a lot of the time, so I didn't want to share it because of that. But Bali, people were really keen to hear my music, so it was a really good opportunity. I had a few gigs there, and I just had a great time. I jammed a lot with other musicians, so that really helped me to become better, and also teaching helps you to become better as well, which is why I love teaching music and teaching anything. I love teaching yoga as well. I've been a teacher for pretty much my whole working life, like personal training as well. So yeah, coming back to Bali, I talked about the positives. I'm going to talk about the not negatives, but just things to be aware of in any place. But this was specifically something that I experienced in Bali because it's a very spiritual place, or new age, or woo-woo even. I see myself as being spiritually connected. I am still a very normal person. I prefer to live this way. I don't want to be too much into the spiritual field. This is a personal choice. It's what I feel was resonating with me. So coming back with Bali, the people I met there are amazing. I met so many great friends. Had so many good experiences. Community, workshops, music, vegan, raw vegan, women's groups, and just connecting on an authentic level. But also, there are things to be aware of within a spiritual community is that the way I see it coming out of it now, being really spiritual, the true spirituality is being truly sovereign and being in your own energy, connected, and doing what you feel is the truth in any moment, and just being a normal person as well, living authentically, living from your heart, and having your heart and mind connected. So to me, that's what spirituality is. Being in a community was helpful because it got me out of my comfort zone. It got me to experience things sometimes being triggered by other people. It's a really good thing because it shows you things within yourself that you need to see. You don't always get that on your own. But when you're on your own, you really have to face everything yourself because you know that there's nobody else that can do it for you, which is inherently true. Because people are just mirrors. They can show you things, but you have to do the work. You have to change because everything is from the inside. It's not from the outside. So that's one reason why solo travel is great, and just going on your own spiritual journey, which we are all doing whether we're consciously doing it or not. Everybody is a spiritual being, and nobody is inherently above anybody else. So some things I learned from Bali as well was that in the spiritual community, there are things that I don't personally resonate with, which I kind of got a little interested in or involved with, but not deeply when I was there. And I'm just grateful to be out of it in some ways. And I'm talking about things like astrology, and things like Tantra, and these kinds of things. Some of this is helpful, like something I'd never heard about is human design, which I think is great, and I'm interested about my human design. Even my astrology I was a little bit interested in, but really what I see it as is kind of a tool, but also it's kind of limiting. It's not everything, because what you believe to be true will create your reality. So if you believe in anything at all, if you believe in astrology, that is going to work for you. But if you don't, or it's not like you don't believe it like me. It's not that I don't believe it. I see that it has value, but I don't feel like it's the right thing for me to go and check my chart and go and use that as a way to create my life. I don't feel it helpful at all, because it gives me like an ego identity, a stronger ego identity. Of course, we're not dissolving the ego, which is something that I used to believe when I was so spiritual, which is more like spiritual ego. It's not true spirituality. I believe that we needed to dissolve the ego. We don't need to dissolve it. However, we don't need to strengthen it. We don't have to become like so like identified with it. We just become aware of it and how it serves or doesn't serve us. So yeah, also things like Tantra. That's something that I didn't get into, but it was just something that I felt a lot around me, and it made me feel uncomfortable a lot of the time, or making me think things that maybe, like I want to have a relationship when I wasn't wanting to at the time, or not ready for. So these are just thoughts. I'm just sharing. This is not going to be for everybody, and there is no right or wrong at all. I do believe that everybody should experience what it is that they feel drawn to, and to experience it fully. I don't really have any regrets, although there are things that I could have done differently if I had known differently in my life in general. I'm talking about. So yeah, things to be aware of whenever you're in a spiritual community, and that was my experience in Bali. It's been my experience in other communities as well. Everywhere is different. So just use your discernment, use it as a way to strengthen discernment. Have time in solitude. To me, I feel like that is really being authentic and really being fully spiritual. I feel like if you're always with community, you're always with people, you're not going to really discern the truth for yourself. That's my opinion. I feel like I don't know how you can. That could be also because I just have gone down that path. So take what you will for that. So after Bali, I was like, I've learned so much here. I've had such a great time. I'm ready for the next thing. And I didn't know. I just wanted to come to Brazil. So I was like, I'm going to go somewhere else. On the way, so I decided to go to Costa Rica. That came just from a meditation. I was like, okay, this is a beautiful place. I'm just going to chill out on the beach here. Really connect with myself, because being in Bali, I was connecting with community a lot of the time. Not all the time. I still had time in solitude. But I felt like I needed time away from that. Also, I just felt a little bit ungrounded. So I needed time to ground. So Costa Rica was great for that. It really helped me come back to myself and just be in nature and to go slowly. Because a pattern that I had to work on is slowing down. Sometimes I get too excited about things, or feel like there's a lot of things I would like to do, and I go about it. I went about it through my ego, which means trying to control things in some ways. So I've been learning to slow down and just do things how I feel guided to in that moment. So after Costa Rica, 2 weeks there, it was a great place. I recommend you go there if you feel like you're drawn to it. So yeah, as I said, when I came to Brazil, I was scared just for the first day. And then over the first week, I became more and more confident exploring. I met a few friends. I still don't know many people here. I would like to meet more people. I'm sure that I will. When I move to the next place in the city, I'm going to go to a lot more music events. I haven't been doing that. I've more just been going into the nature, to the beach a little bit, and New Year's Eve I went out and been to some restaurants. But this has been it, really. So overall, what I've been doing as well as teaching is creating my music. I've been working on my album. This is a great experience. It's also quite challenging on your own. I have released an album already. If you'd like to check it out, I'll probably put a link in the description. So that one, I co-produced with a friend, and he also helped me with some of the musical parts, such as the bass, even the drums. But this one I've been doing fully on my own so far. I don't feel like I need to do it all on my own, but I just wanted to see what I can do. So that's something in progress. Why I'm doing it is because I love music. I want to express what the music is inside myself. I want to reach my full potential as a musician, and I want to help other people do the same. So that's part of my journey. It's not finished. It will never be finished in a sense. Yes, the album will get finished, but the journey never finishes. So coming back to a little bit more about Australia specifically, other things, it's a great country. It's very safe. People are great. You can live a really good life there. You can make good money there. The beaches are amazing. There's many nature places. But as well as the fact that I lived most of my life there, it's also getting very expensive and just lacks culture in some ways. And I think if you travel more, you will expand more. So that's why I left, and that's why I'm here. I encourage you to do the same if you feel drawn. And that is it for this video. I will make more videos about these things, and thank you for watching. Give it a like if you like it, and I'll see you guys later.